Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Meteorologist Zach Batten with the Bell Park Weather Network. Apologize for not having a video yesterday. The time Sunday and into Monday just kind of got away from me, but we're going to make up for it today. So here we go. Starting off with your out the door forecast this morning. It's going to be cold, the coldest morning of the year for several of us. So you're going to want to take some extra time, warm up your car. You're going to want hat and gloves. It's going to be chilly all day. We'll warm up a little bit. But by evening, especially if you're going trick-or-treating or have any fun Halloween activities, it's going to be cold out there this evening. And you're going to make sure you want to take the Ohio News and Weather app with you. That way you can track the snow as it does approach. So let's jump right into the data here. Looking at temperatures this morning, like I mentioned, it's cold. A lot of us are probably going to be below freezing. Some of us, especially near the lake and your urban areas, you might be at freezing or a little bit above, but it's going to be pretty chilly across pretty much the entire area. As we move through the day, we warm up into the 40s. Some of us may not leave the 30s, especially across Indiana and into western and northwest Ohio. But for the most part, everyone's going to hopefully reach 40 before we move into tonight. And the cool air really comes in. And I know by now, everyone has heard the S word. It does exist, and we are expecting some, so we'll take a look at that. Again, starting you off this morning, it's going to be dry for everyone. We'll likely see a little bit of sun in the morning before the clouds really move in. As we move through the morning and into the afternoon, you can see that snow start to approach from the west. I do want to stop it right here into late this afternoon and early evening. This band of snow that's coming through essentially western Ohio from about Toledo down to Springfield and then down to just east of Cincinnati. It's going to be a very kind of quick hitter. So the issue at this time is surface temperatures are still going to be a little above freezing. So we're not expecting much of this to really stick on anything other than, grassy surfaces, elevated surfaces, things like that. And you see, it's a pretty thin band. So as we continue to move through, you're pretty much done after that. There's dry air that's going to work in behind this. So western Ohio is essentially going to be sitting in a little pocket of dry air, and that's pretty much going to kind of end your snow outside of maybe some flurries. So not expecting really much of any accumulation there. Eastern Ohio, and especially northeast Ohio, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. You can see that kind of same band of snow continues to move through, but then the lake really gets active. There's a big temperature difference between the lake and then the air that's going to be moving over top of the lake, and that's essentially how you get your lake effect snow this time of the year. So we continue to move through into late tonight and early Wednesday morning. You see the HRRR here is really depicting that lake effect snow. Notice it doesn't go too far inland. By the time you go really far inland, you kind of start losing that moisture from the lake, start running into some of that dry air that's been working in behind this, so it just doesn't make it as far. As we continue to move through, the snow does eventually taper off. The biggest thing we want to kind of talk about is just that the temperatures aren't going to be as cold, especially up by the lake. It's going to be a little bit warmer, especially the ground temperatures. They're fairly warm anyway, especially with how warm we were last week. So we're not expecting a ton in the way of accumulation. What's going to be different for these areas with the lake effect snow is there's a good chance it's going to be fairly heavy at times. So it's just essentially going to come down so fast that initially as it melts, that melting is going to help cool the air near the ground. So while it's coming down heavy, some of that will probably start to stick. So we'll take a look at your snow totals here. And like we mentioned, for most of the area, we're not really looking at much in the way of accumulation. Sorry, I'm looking at my other monitor over here. So not looking at much in the way of accumulation for pretty much everybody. Like I mentioned, coating on your grassy and elevated surfaces. But where they get that lake effect snow in northeast Ohio, right now we're looking at around 1 inch to 2 inches in some spots, especially the areas that maybe get some of the heavier bands of snow off the lake. You'll likely see a little bit more. And there's a good chance between now and then the time really the snow starts, these totals will change a little bit as we get a better idea of how much moisture is really going to be available and how long the snow is going to fall. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. So you're definitely gonna want to keep checking in with us through the day to kind of get the latest updates and our latest thinking. All right, and with that, I hope you found this video useful this morning and you're ready to tackle the day, especially for your trick-or-treaters this evening. Do expect some snow showers to kind of be entering, especially the western portions of the area. It's going to be cold regardless of where you're at, so definitely be ready to bundle up, have the little ones bundled up. Just stay safe out there. It's the coldest we've been this year, so if you're not expecting it, it might be a little shock, but hopefully if you're watching this video, you're expecting it. So I'm meteorologist Zach Batten with the Bell Park Weather Network. Have a great day, everyone.